Good morning, my gorgeous goddesses. I posted a video earlier this week about you being the chooser, and you are the chooser. But in order to make a good choice, you need to have all your faculties aligned, in order, calm, stress relieved, anything else ejaculated out, like my teacher calls it entropy, all the excess information, all those conversations you're having with people that you probably won't have that conversation with them, but it is your own nervous system trying to regulate yourself and trying to make sense of what is being fed to you. But what makes sense is what you were raised with. So if you were raised with immature, emotional parents, then that is where your nervous system set point is at. If you were raised with extremely regulated parents, your nervous system has a very high set point and a high capacity to hold things that don't go your way. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about nervous system regulation and how I'm doing it this week. I have a number of things going on that I am trying to mentally work through, but my body is also trying to make sense of it, calm itself, be able to hold capacity. And here is your key. One of the womanhood codes is to live intentionally. Intentionally living. Live every moment of your life with the intention of growth, love, peace, safety, whatever your highest non-negotiable values are. That's how you're going to set your capacity, is by calming your nervous system enough to allow more joy in. Somewhere in your childhood, more joy was considered too much, or something bad would happen, or many other things. And because no one told you how your body's going to react, and no one walked you through the process, you have to do that now. So welcome to reparenting yourself. When you were young, you observed, especially the first 7 years of your life, you're just trying to figure out how to survive on this planet. And depending on what kind of caregivers you had is going to set your capacity for joy. I'm going to go over a couple things today when you find yourself in a triggered situation and you need to get yourself reorganized. And the story I'm going to tell is a story of this last 2 weeks in my life. I attended a 3-day event with my mentor, Fawn, the universe guru, and it was wonderful. 3 days of 70 women plus that all have the same destination in mind. I heard no complaining, no gossiping, no nagging. No one was taking advantage of each other. Yet there were behaviors in there that were a little unsettling. But remember, we're all coming at this from our own place, and we're going to move up from there. So after or before these 3 days happened, I had a leak in my apartment, and it was fixed, but it certainly threw me into a loop, and reconstruction needed to be done in my laundry room. So I have men in my house now that are working on this. Their day doesn't necessarily start at 8 or 9. It starts somewhere in there. There's nothing really safe about bringing these people into my house, according to my little girl. Other than they're from my insurance company, they vetted them, but who really are these people? So my body has been in fight, flight, fawn, and freeze for 2 weeks. And you have all of these, you go through all of these. One of them is bigger than the other. Maybe you have a couple that you prefer because that's what you saw when you were little. Or maybe you prefer to flight because you saw a lot of fight when you were little. So whatever you saw when you were little is certainly what has created this pattern that keeps you safe. So during the 3-day event, which was awesome, I am an introvert, an avoidant attachment, and I tried to avoid the ladies by taking a couple dance classes while I was there. But my time with them during our meetings was priceless. I did not feel tired, although I'm avoidant. I did not feel like anybody was vampiring my energy, although I'm extremely introverted and can feel that immediately. I was fighting the flight in my nervous system by not going out with them. I was afraid to get too emotionally involved and lay out more of my intimate life because somebody might judge it. And this is what happened one night at dinner with one of the ladies that's in the class that was sitting next to me, and she asked how my dating was going. She wanted to see my dating profile, and this is her job. She looks at dating profiles all day long. We talked for 5 minutes. She changed everything around, and I almost can't wait to get it started again and start my spiritual journey of regulating my nervous system with men by standing my ground, asking for what I want, and intentionally resting in my feminine energy. So regulating my nervous system during that was hard. She kept asking me questions. Why do you think it would be important for me to tell you about this? And I couldn't answer. I'm like, I don't know. And that took me back to school. I was never a good student. I love learning, but I didn't particularly like school. So when she was asking me, I was freezing. I'm like, I don't know. I was afraid to be wrong. I was afraid to say something that she would have been, no, but she didn't. No matter what my wrong answer was, she didn't roll her eyes. She looked at my profile and she said, what kind of men are you attracting? And let me tell you why. And this is how you can turn it around. She didn't tell me that this was wrong or no wonder why I'm still single. And wow, that was hard to hold. It was hard to hold the capacity of somebody seeing you and accepting you. And then for me to keep my heart open and allow that information to come in without feeling shameful. Whew, that was a great exercise. And now I can do that. Now I'm feeling better about allowing people in and asking for help. That's one of the things our nervous system will sabotage us on in order to feel safe. And this is more in that freeze or fawn. In the freeze mode, we don't know what to do, like I did with the questions. In the fawn mode, we just want to lay down and let the perpetrator walk over us. We don't want to do anything. But we have to in order to protect ourselves. And how the fawn is showing up in my life is in my reconstruction of my laundry room. I would rather them come in while I'm not here, get it all done, and leave and have it perfect. And that's not going to happen. So I have to communicate with these men. I have to tell them when they do something wrong. One of my coat racks was broken, a little cheap one, but I have to bring it up to them and say, I need this replaced. I don't think it can be fixed. I also need the rug moved in the bedroom when they put back together. I'm going to need that done. And I have to ask them to do that and be clear about what I want. So I only have to say it once. And this is where intentionality comes in. I am going to write down what I'm going to say to these guys, make a bulleted list, and then let them know that I love everything that's being done. I'm glad they're on schedule. And these are a few things that I noticed that I need rectified. This, and this. And I will talk to the foreman. I won't talk to the workers so that he can fix it for me. But if I didn't go into that conversation with intention, I would have been maybe a little fighty. And let me tell you how the fight response showed up in my life this week. I had the manager of the HOA call me, and he wanted to talk to me about, first of all, what was going on, but then he tried to slip a violation in with me because I have a beautiful planter in front of my door, and that's not allowed. So, boy, I fought really hard not to be in that fight or flight energy of not talking at all, and balance that with saying, hey, my laundry room has been destroyed and now you're talking to me about a violation because I have a potted plant next to my door, because that is a safety violation so the firemen can get in. Don't do that when you're trying to follow up on my laundry room being destroyed. I was able to walk myself through that. And when he said, hey, this is two separate things, I was able to say, yes, they are. I am extremely activated right now because I have two men that are working in my apartment making a mess. Everything's not turning out exactly the way it should. And now you're telling me that my potted plant might bring me a violation if I don't remove it. So here are the things that I need to do in order to balance and harmonize myself. And I'm going to tell you 2 or 3 of those things that I want you to do. And this is a 4-step process that I learned, and I'll tell you about that too. So number 1, take a breath. Breathe in, even if you have to say, excuse me, I need to take a breath here. Breathe in. Make sure that breath goes all the way down to your belly. When that breath goes all the way down to your belly, you might be able to feel where it's getting stuck here. It's probably getting stuck in your throat, in your chest, maybe in your gut. And when you take that belly breath, that's going to get you all the way down. You're not going to get stuck here at a shallow breath. You're going to take that deep breath all the way down, even if you have to cry. Even if some of that energy is just going to shoot out of you in a tear or a sob. And then take another breath. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to orient yourself. Find 3 shapes or colors quickly in your environment right now that you can orient yourself along the horizontal line of the horizon. So I see a round clock. I see a triangular votive, and I see a square picture frame. Yellow flowers and my front door. All right. I think you could even hear me regulating myself as I was looking around at the horizon, not up and down, at the horizon, because this is evolutionary safe for us, in order to calm my nervous system. The third thing I want you to do is I want you then to sit in stillness. And of course, the fourth thing is to release it all. Journaling, talking to a therapist, talking to somebody that can regulate you, sobbing with your friend, being able to release it. Release it through writing, release it through crying, release it through exercise. Release it through doing something active. Shake your hips, put on your favorite song and shake your hips. Because what that does is that releases that energy. Have you ever seen like National Geographic show where maybe a deer got chased by a tiger and the deer got away, what does that deer do? Shakes. It shakes itself off so that it can get back to the herd and doesn't dysregulate the herd again with its fighty, flighty energy. And that's what humans don't do. We don't release that. We hold it in because we're strong. We hold it in because we don't want the other people to see our weakness. But it's not a weakness. It's regulating your nervous system. And believe it or not, that makes you the strongest nervous system in the room. And that's what you want to be. So let's recap real quick. And I talk about this in my love connection class and my sisterhood connection class, where I go over how to regulate the nervous system as you're creating space to create your life. Your self-concept and your identity is what is blocking you from your abundance. How you were raised is your self-concept, what your beliefs are, what you're constantly moving around in your head. I'm this, I'm that. Saying I'm sad and I'm depressed rather than saying I feel depressed, I feel sad. Because you're not your feelings. You are the abundant, gorgeous goddess walking on this earth, feeling depressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling sad. And with this cute little 4-step process, you can regulate your nervous system and go, you're right, I am sad, or I am overwhelmed. But let me write that down so it's on paper and now it can get released out of my head and therefore get released out of my body. So join the Yumminess Revolution, where we all have the same destination in mind, and that is our rich and romance and wealthy and wifed lifestyle, where we are living our best life, healthy and happy, where we can regulate all of our friends and family around us so that they can feel the abundance of a still, soft, peaceful life. Write a comment. How do you handle your fight and flight and fawn and freeze? What are some of the ways you've noticed it? And let's talk about it. Anyways, I will see you in the Yumminess Revolution.